Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joel, aka The Daily Guru, and it's time for another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're going to stay kind of recent, but nonetheless, it's an album you have to own. The year is 2004. The album we're going to take a look at is Shock G's Fear of a Mixed Planet. If you can't quite place who Shock G is, he was the founder and main creative influence behind Digital Underground. And if you know anything about hip-hop music, you'll be well aware of the fact that throughout the 90s and early 2000s, they put out a string of absolutely amazing hip-hop records. And while there are a number of guests found throughout this record, the fact of the matter is, this is his first formal solo record. The sheer level of sonic diversity you hear across these tracks has never been matched. But if you look back at his production history, it's a little bit less surprising because there's just no question that he is one of the most creative and outright visionary people ever in the history of music. This album has a little bit of everything, from beautiful acoustic guitars mixed with flutes, to deep grooving funk, to some of the wildest hard-hitting beats you've heard in years. Shock G makes it clear on every single song that when it comes to creating music, he is truly in a league all his own. Along with the phenomenal diversity in the soundscapes, there's a similar level within the lyrics. And he absolutely pulls no punches. On the very first track of the song, he calls out all the MCs who are trying to copy Tupac's style, basically saying, if you're trying to be like the man, there's a lot more than the thug life image, and you should go get yourself some knowledge. And at the same time, he goes after a number of injustices, double standards, and all things like that in society. These are some of the most brutal and absolutely on-point lyrics you'll ever hear. But coming through in all of that, his unique sense of humor is never lost. In the end, Fear of a Mixed Planet is everything hip-hop is supposed to be. Thought-provoking, musically diverse, and true to its core in every sense of the word. So go out right now and get yourself a copy of Shock G's first solo release. Thank me later. Okay guys, today for something new, we're going to check out the brand new release from the Lanegan band, and it's called Blues Funeral. Like any album he's ever been on, the first thing that hits you about this record is, wow, what a voice. Lanegan is one of a kind. If somehow you're not familiar with Lanegan's huge catalog of work, there's absolutely no excuse from that. The guy has played with everyone from Uncle to Queens of the Stone Age to this solo group, and then of course he fronted one of the greatest bands of his era, Screaming Trees. On this record, his singing is a little bit grittier than ever before, but trust me, that's a good thing. Once you get used to just how amazing his voice is, you realize that the moods all throughout the album are just as superb. Sometimes it's a hard blues style rock, sometimes it's pop perfection, and sometimes it's almost this disco style, but it's constantly good, it's constantly engaging. Along with that, regardless of the pace or the mood of the song, they flow perfectly into one another, and that's when you know it's a truly great record. One of the keys to this record is the fact that the synthesizers and other sound effects aren't additions to the sound, they are the sound. In many ways, this is where you learn how to perfectly incorporate that style into a rock and roll sound. It's also a testament to the number of years and diverse groups he's played with, because there's never been a record that sounds quite like this. So whether you're a fan of that classic rock and roll sound, or maybe you like the darker side of rock and roll, or maybe you're just someone who's into exceptional music in general, put this one at the top of your list, because on the buy it or borrow it, Blues Funeral is a 100% buy it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, go ahead and leave a comment, go ahead and click like, whatever you want to do. Remember that if you leave a comment here, or if you share this video via my Facebook page, you're automatically entered to win at least 4 of the albums I recommend this month at the end of the month. If you want to email me, you can do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and check out my website where every single day I talk about the greatest music of all time at thedailyguru.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr right here, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday.